Now recently, ladies and gentlemen, I embarked on a challenge, a road, a journey so pointless, so unbelievably useless, so incredibly unnecessary, a path so insignificant that no one realized they even needed to walk down it, apart from me.
Oh my God! This is what he does!
Just over a week ago, I embarked on a journey to find 10 minutes of the most useless football information you could ever imagine, and you guys seem to like it and wanted me to do another one. So without further ado, we got some more useless football information. Scottish team Motherwell have won the Copa del Rey. Now, I know, again, what you're thinking. Scotland is not the same as Spain. Well, look, listen, let me explain. Back in the 1920s, a couple of foreign sides were invited to play in a special off-season version of the Copa del Rey, the Spanish Cup. In the 1926-27 season, Motherwell finished as runners-up in the Scottish top flight and were invited by the Spanish footballing governing body as well as Swansea City to play in the Copa del Rey. Motherwell would beat Swansea in that first game and then had to play Real Madrid in the 27 final. They played with a few Spanish players from other clubs as well in the team and would win 3-1 to be a Scottish team to win the Spanish Copa del Rey. I don't know either. Back in 2002, there was a World Cup tournament that was sweeping the globe, and of course, predominantly Asia, being hosted in Japan and South Korea. Now, at the same time as the 2002 World Cup final, a couple of governing bodies decided to come together to organize an other final, which was to be held between the two worst teams in terms of ratings, FIFA rankings across the world. It was between Bhutan and Montserrat, the former winning 4-0. A referee by the name of Martin Sylvester once sent himself off after punching a player during a game. Back in 1998, and the English ref Martin Sylvester decided that he'd had enough with his own shenanigans, and in a game in the Andover and District Sunday League, decided to give himself an early shower. Who even referees the game after that? Yeah, mate, you're up. Nah, sorry, can't take it. I was offside, so you're gonna have to find someone. Franz Beckenbauer once tried to move Bayern Munich away from the German Bundesliga and instead become an Italian league team. Back in 2003, and Franz was not happy with the way the media and Germany and the governing bodies in the world of football over there were talking about Bayern's financial misdemeanors. So in response, he said that he would quite happily take Bayern Munich away from Germany, play against the likes of Roma, Inter, Juventus, and see how the Bundesliga would do without them. The level of depression Borussia Dortmund fans are experiencing knowing that could have been a reality. And staying on the theme of the German giants, if Bayern Munich had conceded every single shot on target that they faced in the 2013-14 Bundesliga season, they would have still won the league. That's how good they were defensively, how little in terms of big chances they gave away. If Manuel Neuer didn't make a single save, they'd have still been champions. Kasper Schmeichel is of course the great Peter Schmeichel's son. They're both known for being great Danish shot stoppers, but they also both won the league title on the same day at the same age. Kasper Schmeichel would win the league on the 2nd of May in Leicester's brilliant title charge, and he'd do so at the age of 29, the same age that Peter Schmeichel won it in. But not only that, Peter, back in 1993 in his first league triumph, won it on the 2nd of May too. Mexican forward Hugo Sanchez scored 38 goals for Real Madrid back in the 1989-90 season. The crazy thing is though, he scored every single one of those goals with a first time finish. No control with this guy whatsoever. John Terry has more Premier League goals for Chelsea than Andres Iniesta has for Barcelona, and probably more affairs as well. Wayne Bridge, not pleased seeing this statistic for the first time. There's only one team Liverpool have never taken points off in the Premier League, and it's Blackpool. Over in Ghana in the 2003-04 season, Accra Hearts of Oak went unbeaten across the entire season. They did an invincibles like Arsenal in the same campaign. Now, whilst Arsenal won a golden trophy and applaud it to being one of the best Premier League teams to ever grace this beautiful league, Accra Hearts of Oak would win nothing. Yet they didn't even win the league title, despite going invincible and not losing a game the entire year. On the flip side of that, and in Sweden, an underachieving champion comes in the form of AIK, as back in 1998, they managed to go a whole season scoring only 25 goals in 26 games and still somehow managed to win the league. So that's when Kai Havertz started playing football. Chelsea hold the record for the highest score boring two-legged affair in European history, all the way back in 1971 when they defeated a side called Jeunesse Horcharge from Luxembourg 21-0 over 2 legs. A big margin of victory that might become a bit clearer when you realise that ironically, one of the Luxembourg side's players was wearing glasses the whole time. 4 of them were just brothers to each other. 3 of the Luxembourg side's players were over the age of 42, and their striker only had 1 arm. Ball to hat? No. Look, even if Jeunesse haven't won that much European-wise in their lifespan, at least this is one accolade they'll probably have forever. A trophy they can put at least one hand on. Well, not a second one, because despite Liverpool's ridiculously long lifespan, we've only had 21 managers since the club was founded. You might know this one, but it's still useless regardless. Robert Lewandowski has enjoyed a crazy career. One of the most clinical goal scorers we're going to see in this footballing era. But it could have been so much different for the Pole. As before he ended up joining Borussia Dortmund from Polish side Lech Poznan, he actually agreed a deal to sign for Blackburn Rovers. Yet all the way back in the late 2000s, and Lewandowski had agreed personal terms to move over to Ewood Park until an Icelandic volcano erupted, stopping all flight passengers across the nation, cancelling his flight ticket, and in the end, the transfer would never happen. After leaving Tottenham, Gareth Bale enjoyed a crazy career at Real Madrid, winning pretty much everything there is to win, and consistently won at least 1 piece of silverware every single year. His first trophyless campaign since leaving Tottenham all those years ago, his loan spell back at Tottenham. If you're a Lille or Bordeaux fan over in France, you probably heard of Rio Mavuba. He's 39 years of age now and is the assistant manager at Bordeaux. What you might not know about him though is that he was actually born at sea, so on international waters, I didn't technically have a nationality stated on his birth certificate. It was during the Angolan Civil War and his parents were trying to flee the nation. In the end, he declared for France, played for them at under 21 level, and then played 13 times for them at senior level between 04 and 2014. One footballer has played for 3 different national teams at senior level, technically speaking. So Dejan Stankovic started his international career as a Yugoslavian international. But after the breakup of Yugoslavia and the fact that he was born in Belgrade, the capital of modern Serbia, that nation that he represented then became Serbia and Montenegro. And when Montenegro then got its independence, he then played for specifically Serbia. Back in 1979, South African footballing legend Jomo Sono was getting married in Orlando. After saying I do to his bride-to-be, he was told that his Orlando Pirates teammates were losing 2-0 at half-time. He drove from his own wedding to the game, played, and they ended up winning 4-2. Gary Lineker, of course, an England footballing icon, current match of the day presenter as well. He has the extremely unusual record, even though he's a striker, of having never received a yellow or red card in his footballing career. And staying on the cards vibes, Ryan Giggs never received a red in his footballing career. That's almost 700 games and not a single sending off, though he did get sent off once on international duty for Wales and was suspended from all family activities, but that doesn't really count. Back in 2015 and at the Pacific Games, the nation of Micronesia have a very unwanted record. They were drawn in a group against Tahiti, Fiji and Vanuatu, other islands in the sort of Oceania area. Now none of these nations are particularly known for their footballing ability, but Micronesia especially not. In just 3 games and 3 defeats, they managed to concede a whopping 114 goals, losing 30-0 to Tahiti, 38-0 against Fiji, and 46-0 against Vanuatu. Swansea's mascot once received a fine and touchline ban for a pitch invasion back in 1999. The 9-foot mascot known as Cyril the Swan got a little bit too excited as the then 3rd division side beat Millwall in the FA Cup 3-0. He ran onto the pitch, did a dance, celebrated with the goal scorer, but the FA weren't happy and even had the mascot attend a disciplinary panel wearing their fancy dress. Manchester City just won the Champions League, and with that, backup goalkeeper Scott Carson was able to lift the European trophy. But that's not the first time he's actually won a Champions League, as back in 2005 he was a backup goalkeeper at Liverpool at a young age and earned himself a Champions League medal in a famous comeback from 3-0 down against Milan, making him the only player to have actually won the Champions League in both of those Istanbul games. But that is going to wrap up today's useless information, alright? I'm glad you guys enjoyed it the first time and you wanted to see it again. If you want a third edition to complete the trilogy, then let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video though, feel free to slap a like on it and subscribe if you're new. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.